Hello and welcome back to What Steven Reads. My name is Steven. This video is more of a test. I have this desk I bought. It's very small, but it fits in front of the camera. I can have a chair here because if I sit at my desk, I have nowhere to put the camera to see me, and I like the backdrop of the bookcase. And it looks pretty good from here, but we'll see. So I thought I would just make this video a quick little update and a short book haul. I have more books that I have bought the past week, but I will do that next week because these focus more on what we talked about last time, which were the classics, which are up over there. And then as far as the big books go, I have two more to get through. I have Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, and then IQ 84, which they look giant on camera. Well, I guess that's the point. They are big books. But, so yeah, we'll see how this goes with this setup. And then I do promise I'm not sticking to just classics and old books. I have some new books, which I'll get to maybe in a couple of weeks. I just didn't want to make the focus of this channel just about book hauls. But being a reader, yeah, I like to buy books, and it's just sort of an addiction. But at least I can say that I read them, so I feel good about that. But yeah, so these are the books that I got in the past, I guess, week and a half. So what happened is I get, like, you know, being a reader and being a book collector, you get like little mini addictions within that main addiction. And I was looking for NYRB books because I have a couple of them, and they're relatively short novels, so they're quicker to read. So I went to Book Off, which is a used bookstore. Maybe you heard of it. But to me, it seems more like a action figure store and video games, which is fine because I like that stuff too. But the book section's kind of a mess. And quick, funny, short story is I had a book that I had donated to the library. And it's a book, trust me, that nobody else has. I doubt that many people bought it. Again, my old reading habits were back in like 2000, 2005 maybe. And it was there. So I think someone took the book from the library donation and went to Book Off to sell it. I'm pretty sure it's my book. I should have put like a little note inside there just to see. And they were charging like $12. This is a paperback from, I don't even know, 2000, 2005. I can't remember the name of it. I have a picture which I will put up probably over here. I couldn't believe it was there. And I mean, I could have sold it for $12 on Thrift Books or something like that, but I don't know. And I was surprised at some of the charges, some of the prices that they were charging for some of the books. I guess how famous they are, or I don't know. But most of them were $5, which was fine for me. So here they are. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books at Book Off. And then, yeah, so next week I'll show you some newer stuff, because I don't want to just focus on classics. I do like modern contemporary fiction. I like fantasy. I have a whole bunch of fantasy up here I want to get to. And just to represent that, I have my little Borg ship over here, my Borg sphere. So, all right, so these are the books I got in Book Off, which they're all used, so I didn't spend that much. Only one of them was maybe like, I don't know, $10, so that's okay. The first one is The Magic of Ordinary Days, a novel by Anne Howard Creel. And I'll just do a quick read for all of these. Some of them I'm more familiar with, some of them I am not. Most of them I am not. Olivia Dunn, a studious minister's daughter who dreams of becoming an archaeologist, never thought that the drama of World War II would affect her quiet life in Denver. And I'm quite surprised how much I enjoy fiction stories revolving around World War II, with The Curse of Pietro Houdini, which I will talk about one day, and The Rose Code, about those women that were crucial to the war and deciphering those secret messages from Germany, who were only acknowledged, I think, maybe like 20 years ago, which is just ridiculous. And they just had to pretend they were just going off to work to file some papers or whatever the case was. But an exhilarating flirtation reshapes her life, though, and she finds herself in a rural Colorado outpost, married to a man she hardly knows. Overwhelmed by loneliness, Olivia tries to establish a new life, finding much needed friendship and solace in two Japanese American sisters who are living at a nearby internment camp. When Olivia unwittingly becomes an accomplice to a crime, she finally confronts her own yearnings and comes to understand what she truly believes about the nature of trust and love. And what drew me was just that cozy looking, serene cover of some kind of cornfield or something like that. And I'm looking forward to it when I get back in that mood to read something revolving around World War II. That was The Magic of Ordinary Days by Anne Howard Creel. And just to give you an idea, because I don't know if these are all considered classics or not, this was first published in, let's see, yeah, this is not old at all. This is from 2001, which I know, I get it. It's 24 years old now. But I guess, it has more of like an older vibe to it. And then I was very happy to see this, Jack Kerouac's On the Road, because I have the other book, Big Sur, which I started, and his writing is a bit confusing, and I had heard that I should have started with On the Road. So they had it there, and the price, the Borders price is here from who knows when, for $12.95. I think I spent $10 on this, which I probably should have looked to see how much it would have been on Amazon, but that's fine. I didn't spend that much that day. And basically, from what I heard, is this is about a road trip, and his writing just goes from sentence to sentence. There's a little bit of dialogue I'm seeing here, but hopefully it's a good book. Let me just quickly scan this. On the Road swings to the rhythms of 50s underground America, jazz, sex, generosity, chill dawns, and drugs, with Sal Paradise and his hero Dean Moriarty, traveler and mystic, the living epitome of beat. So I am excited to check this out because it's a book from the 50s and it's considered part of that beatnik generation, Jack Kerouac. So we'll see how that goes, and if it's better, the first few pages or chapters than Big Sur, which I just wasn't really digging too much. And then, because I've been enjoying Tolstoy, this is the best of a author, the last name Teffy, Tolstoy, Rasputin, Others, and Me, the best of Teffy. And I just want to make sure that I'm getting that correct. Edited by Robert Chandler and Anne Marie Jackson. Apparently she had interaction with those authors, and this book, which is a NYRB, New York Review Books classic, I guess of her experiences with them or their inspirations or something to do with, because this was in the fiction section, so I hope it is fiction, but even if it's a memoir, I'm okay with that. So let's see what this is all about. And then Novels in 3 Lines by Felix Finion. So check that out, the cover. And what drew me to this was the description. Let's see. Novels in 3 Lines collects more than 1,000 items that appeared anonymously in the French newspaper Le Matin in 1906. True stories of murder, mayhem, and everyday life presented with ruthless economy that provokes laughter even as it shocks. This extraordinary trove, undiscovered until the 1940s, and here translated for the first time in English, is the work of the mysterious Felix Finion. Dandy anarchist and critic of genius, the discoverer of Jorge Seurat, and the first French publisher of James Joyce, Finion carefully maintained his own anonymity, toiling for years as an obscure clerk in the French War Department. So yeah, this sounds pretty cool. It sounds like a collection of stories from the newspaper Le Matin, and I just think the 1906 vibe just kind of cool to me. It just sounded cool. And I think this was just $5. So, and cool photo. I don't know, is that a, what do they call it when you get arrested? Because it has like a little numbering system over here. I have no idea. I don't know anything about him, but maybe it'll inspire me to Google him and see what he's all about. And then, let's see, we got Morte d'Urban by J.F. Powers, introduction by Elizabeth Hardwick. And check out that cool 1950s photo, or 60s. The hero of J.F. Powers' comic masterpiece is Father Urban, a man of the cloth who's also a man of the world, charming with an expansive vision of the spiritual life and high tolerance for moral ambiguity. Urban enjoys a national reputation as a speaker on the religious circuit and has big plans for the future, but then the provincial head of his dowdy religious order banishes him to a retreat house in the Minnesota hinterlands. Father Urban soon bounces back, carrying God's word with an undaunted enthusiasm through the golf courses, fishing lodges, and backyard barbecues of his new turf. Yet even as he triumphs, his tribulations mount, and in the end, his greatest success proves a setback from which he cannot recover. And was first published in 1962. Yep, so this seems, well, I mean, now historical, as everything gets old one day, right? But yeah, it just sounded kind of cool to me. This is not a priority read for me, partially drawn by the cover, which I hope is a cover from that original publishing, maybe, who knows. And then lastly, but not, this is actually a new purchase. I got this in Barnes & Noble, and it's called Grand Hotel by Vicki Baum, introduction by Noah Eisenberg. A grand hotel in the center of the 1920s Berlin serves as a microcosm of the modern world in Vicki Baum's celebrated novel, a Weimar-era bestseller that retains all its verve and luster today. Among the guests of the hotel, this is what drew me to it, is Dr. A. Turnschlag, a World War I veteran whose face has been sliced off in half by a shell. Day after day, he emerges to read the paper in the lobby, discreetly inquiring at the desk if the letter he's been waiting for years has arrived. Then there is Grushenskaya, a great ballerina now fighting a losing battle not so much against age as against her fear of it, who may or may not be made for Geijern, a sleek professional thief. Harry Preissing also checks in, the director of a family firm that isn't flourishing as it appears, who would never imagine that Kringelein, his underling, a timorous petty clerk he's bullied for years, has also come to Berlin, determined to live at last now that he's received a medical death sentence. All these characters and more, with all their secrets and aspirations. This is the kind of stuff I like. It's a bunch of characters just coming and going from a hotel. Just sounds like a fun ride, and I think I'll enjoy it. I think the reviews were pretty decent at the 4-star rating. Again, I don't go by Goodreads reviews all the time. And yeah, this just sounds right up my alley. I'm just thinking of A Gentleman in Moscow, about, I know there's more of a thriller part to that book, of a man protecting a young girl if she's hiding or something, but about all the different characters that are in that residence that he's staying in, and that just is something that I'm typically interested in. So yeah, that's the short haul for today of mostly used books, except for Grand Hotel by Vicki Baum. And next week, hopefully it'll be an update on the big books, because I have 2 more to get through. Les Miserables is not here because I gave it to my father, and he said, no, I want to read it in French. I was like, okay, whatever. So I might return that to Amazon and get the Penguin Classic version for myself, because that one has the deckled edges, and I'm not a big fan of deckled edges. So yeah, and then IQ84 and Jonathan Strange I will get to this week, just to read a couple of chapters each. But just to let you know, I am mostly drawn to Stephen King, because maybe it's the time of year, not because it's horror creepy or Halloween-y, just the whole, from what I heard, like plague thing. Like the first chapter is about something got released, and they keep referring to the fact that this guy's coughing a lot, and that just sounds totally, zombie-like. And I know there's no zombies in this. I haven't heard anything about zombies, so that just sounds interesting in the moment. The writing of 4321 is fantastic. It's so down to earth, and I think that might draw me. And the pages, it's just paragraph after paragraph. There's very little dialogue, and that might be daunting to some people, but but the way he writes it is just so simple, and I don't mean in a stupid way. He just makes it easy for you to read, and it's just a breeze to get through. And then awesome ambiance in Lonesome Dove, which a couple of books have inspired me. I want to do a book about ambiance in books. Books that you just want to live in. And other books are great stories, but you can't imagine yourself in that world. So I'm working on that. So that's progress for now, and that was the book haul. Please leave any comments of books you think I should pick up, or again, back to the big books, what you think I should read, which one I should pick. And if you have any comments or criticisms, I'm always up to hearing anything. And I will catch you next time. Please like and subscribe. Bye-bye.